Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody.
We must be one.
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 Everybody.
We must be one. Welcome to the Hughes Round Table.
Everybody.
I'm Nina,
I'm Michaela.
And I'm Michael Hughes.
and we are so glad that you have
Yep.
joined us today. And we always want to thank our subscribers and those who aren't subscribing. We want you to be encouraged to subscribe. And of course, now you know that we are on YouTube. And this is our third video. And we surely appreciate you listening in and watching.
Yes. Yeah, we ready. Y'all ready, y'all? This is a episode that we have been dealing with for about a week now. It's called Let's Go. Let's go. Let's go, everybody.
Let's go.
Let's go. We wanted to do this because we talk to a lot of people all over the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, your mom was talking about that earlier. We talked to people from North, South, East, and West Columbus, Cincinnati, Ohio, Cleveland, Dayton, Kansas City, Missouri, Seattle, Maryland, D.C.,
Connecticut,
Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and North Carolina, Texas, New York. Can't forget about the mighty New York. I love me some New York. California, all North and South California, L.A. area, Hayward, California, and all those areas, all these cities and states that we just mentioned. We send this podcast to those people that are in there in those states, who live in those states, and we wanted to do this and to encourage people.
Yes.
Encourage people. It's threefold. If you haven't started, you're hesitating, you're procrastinating, or if you started. So we wanted to speak strength and encouragement and support into your life. And you're ending like us. We've ended one and we're starting a new one.
Yes.
Keep going. Don't stop. If you haven't started, start. If you're in the middle, get back up and keep going again. And if you started another one, like we did, we started way back in 2003.
Yes.
We put a CD out, Seeking El Shaddai, Michael and Nina Hughes. Well, Michaela was
7 or 8.
You was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Y'all,
I was tiny.
yeah. And you, how old now? You 23. So that was let me do my math. That was 16 years ago?
Yeah.
16 years ago.
15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. That CD, man, we put that daggone thing out, man. Listen, y'all. We didn't know what we were doing. All we was doing what the Lord told us to do. We just wanted to share this to let y'all know that you ain't got to have no money. You ain't got to know. All you got to do is be obedient.
Because the Lord will provide for what it is that he is placing inside of you.
Right. Just be obedient. Have faith. And just start. A backstory to us doing that CD. We put it out ourselves. We didn't know what we was doing. Y'all, listen to me. Where the camera at?
That's yours.
Look at here. We did not know how to even form a song. We wrote all the songs. We didn't know nothing about chorus or verse or studio or anything. We did all that. We just did it. We just started looking, started doing. And another backstory to that is we had enough sense. The daggone manager of the studio where we did the CD at. See, back in the day, you could still rip CDs. The manager knew we already had ordered 1,500. I'm thinking 1,500 CDs.
Like that.
We ordered 1,500 CDs. Well, come the time to go pick the CDs up, back then you could burn CDs. Back then, I told him I want my masters.
Okay.
We got, and Michaela was there at the time. Nina was at work.
I was at work.
I said, man, I want my masters, man, because if he would have kept the master copy to the CD, I would have had to keep coming back to him, getting reordering CDs and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, no need for all of that. And now they don't even rip CDs that much anymore because they just stream them through iTunes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God I had enough common sense. I have been reading about all these artists about all these artists wanting their masters to keep their money into their pocket. And I said, hey, even though don't nobody know us, we don't know nothing, and I still, it just makes sense to me to own your own material since it's copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Library National of Congress and all of that. Mm-hmm. That man said that he wasn't gonna give me no masters. He wasn't doing nothing. He was gonna keep the masters. It was a pretty thing too. It was hard. It was gold. And all they would do was take it and the music was recorded on the CD. And all they would do was just take it. Anytime you needed copies, they take it and just give you copies. Well, like I said, we already ordered 1,500. Mm-hmm. And that joker took the little extra CD that he was going to give me and broke it right in front of me.
He did do that.
And I looked at him. I was like, bruh.
That was crazy.
Bruh, you don't even want to.
Thank God for salvation.
I said, I still want my masters. I looked right at him in his face. It's like, cause ain't no, I don't know who you think you dealing with, but ain't none of that going on here. And when Michaela was in the back too,
I was just
she didn't know what was going on, but she knew something had just happened because my voice.
Huh.
Wow.
So we in the studio.
That was crazy.
And he gave me my masters. That's the long story short. Mm-hmm. He gave me those masters. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, we are still ripping them now, passing them out 16 years later. Mm-hmm. Those CDs. So we're not telling y'all anything that we haven't done. Mm-hmm. We've done, as a matter of fact, by us doing this podcast, we're coming full circle. The idea came from one of the songs off the CD. Came from that. Everybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Lord has used that CD, and we was just passing them out as tracks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's all we was doing. So when we talk about let's go, we want to speak encouragement into people's lives and support, which is much needed in the day and age we're living in. Go. Let's go. Yes. Let's go. I love lyrics in a song, and which I think can motivate people real good. There's a group called Switchfoot who sings a song called I Dare You to Move. My people, listen to these lyrics. Welcome to the planet. Welcome to existence. Everyone's here. Everybody's watching you now. Everybody waits for you now. What happens next? I dare you to move. Welcome to the fallout. Welcome to resistance. The tension is here. I dare you to move. Lift yourself up off the floor. Maybe, this is what I love right here. Redemption has stories to tell. Maybe forgiveness is right where you fell. Where can you run to? Escape from yourself. Where you gonna go? Salvation is here. I dare you to move. And that song is pretty old, but as a matter of fact, I think when I first got saved, uh, uh, I caught a hold of that song right there.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
Ageless.
And they said that separated their band, and pushed them and catapulted them. That one song right there, I Dare You to Move. And he said he wrote it to because he was being stagnant. He wasn't moving. He wasn't doing nothing for God or none of that. Y'all check this story out. Switchfoot is the group. I Dare You to Move is the song. And I looked at the history of it, and he said he was just being stagnant, and he wanted to motivate himself. He just wanted to motivate himself. A lot of the people we talk to on the phone, we are normally a ear. We're ear for the people, and we talk to so many people. All not just in Columbus, Ohio. We talk to a lot of people. A lot of people have our numbers, and we just listen. A lot of times, we just listen. Men and women, we listen, and it is a beautiful thing to see that everybody is not at the same place. They're not. When it comes to dreams, purpose, and your gifts, I think one of the reasons why a lot of pastors, coaches, mothers, and fathers, because this is what we when we first got saved, this is what our pastor was preaching to us all the time. And it dawned on me, because I was already a dreamer. It dawned on me that everywhere you turn with positive messages, positive people, coaches, people that motivate you and all of that, everywhere you turn, they're always talking about dreams, purpose, and using your gifts for the glory of God to advance your family, and I wondered what is the reason behind all of that, because I'm inquisitive like that. And one of the reasons is the number one reason I believe, now this is Michael Hughes, is for you to go after something that's bigger than you. And your whole world will open up, for the people that are hesitant and don't want to, they know they got ideas, they know they got dreams, they know they got visions. For the people that are stagnant, one of the reasons why people say, go after your dreams, find your purpose, find the will of the Lord for your life. You hear that all the time. It's very common. One of the reasons why is because it will magnify your relationship with God.
Yes.
It will build you, because it's going to take faith. It's going to take you to move, and it's going to take you to, when you go after something, it's going to make you a better person.
Fulfilled. You feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
People forget that. I've been thinking about that lately, that you
Thank
personally.
you for helping me.
Fulfilled is always the word. You feel, and I wish we would talk more about this as Christians, because sometimes we neglect the fact that you do get something, and it's not bad to receive something for you internally, externally, when you are giving your life and yourself to the things you believe in, through God, of course, through Christ, to others. You receive, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we'll be like, God wants us to do this and I don't want to do it. And you forget that because he put that thing inside of you, you're going to, it's like a connection. When you give to others, you get something back.
Yeah.
And you're fulfilled because you're in it with those people.
Yeah.
You're connected with those people. You're in it. You're in that moment as well. It's not like you're up here and you're just giving to people down here. It's a back, and God makes it reciprocal.
Yeah.
And that's how
good.
you become fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not give, and, you don't get anything out of it. It's like a big circle.
Yeah.
And that's fulfillment.
Yeah.
You should feel good about the things you're doing. You should feel at ease. You should be content. You should be happy. You should be glad about the things you're doing. It's not always so serious and so burdensome.
Right.
It's freeing.
It's freeing.
And it's fulfillment. That's what
Freeing.
fulfillment is.
Freeing.
Mm-hmm.
Freeing.
It's freeing,
Mm-hmm.
and like you just said, you get more. Your life is you're fulfilled. It's a
Free from
fulfillment
what?
thing.
What are you free from?
Um,
Talk to the people and let them know when we say let's go.
we mean let's go.
Let's go.
It's sometimes it's not so much that you, gosh, I hate doing this, but anyway, sometimes you're not so much getting freed from something. You're just getting freed into something new.
Well, now.
Sorry.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time. Now.
Because freedom is it can be so broad
Mm-hmm.
that it's not just I'm moving out of one thing into another.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just only get freed out of something,
Mm-hmm.
but you're freed into a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of being free from something is not even relevant.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that you were free. I've been freed from, delivered from this. You were freed in. It's like that's what being unveiled and being not being able to see and not being blind to something is.
Right.
You're freed to see things differently. So your perspective, your mind is open. So you're not so much thinking about whatever is common to you, whatever is a normal thought for you daily.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're thinking about others. Now you're thinking about loving people. Now you're thinking about how can I give my skills, my gifts to people, strategies, processes, procedures to getting that thing done. That's being freed in to something.
I like that.
So there's different.
That's beautiful.
And there's other ways you can, all kinds of ways. But like when I'm around, like going to church for me is a freeing thing because, private prayer and private worship is beautiful, but and the Bible talks about corporate, this is just an example, corporate praise, corporate worship.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks about numbers and how, when two are gathered, when three are gathered, and the beauty of unity. That's a freeing moment for me personally. So that's what I mean. Like there's tons of ways throughout life you can be free. We talked about Puerto Rico.
Right.
That's freeing. That's being freed into knowledge, freed into understanding, freed into new experiences of things.
Of yourself.
Things you
find
never
out
thought
a lot
of
about
before.
yourself and when you're doing your purposes, your gifts, and your dreams. You find out a whole lot about what you are all made of. And what I love, Nina, is it gives you a focus, a tenacity, a focus. You stay out the way of other stuff. You stay out other people's business. A lot of because it puts up boundaries for you. You just don't have the time for anything else. You
have
don't.
A goal.
You have a goal.
And you're trying to obtain that
because
goal.
it teaches you how to concentrate and focus. Because let me tell y'all something. When you are in dreams and you're doing your vision and you're doing your purpose and all of that, all your gifts and all of that, it takes its toll on you. It takes its toll on you, but you're loving it because you are in what God made you to do and be and for. I mean, what can you do? There's nothing you could. Don't do it and see what happens. Don't do an idea that the Lord has put in you. Because it burns you. It burns. It just consumes you so much. It consumes. That's the tension that Switchfoot is talking about. The tension and the resistance, it keeps confusion down, because the tension and the resistance is, number one, you probably don't want to do it.
Never.
That's number one.
Yeah.
That's number one. Because I remember us back to that CD again. All of this is old, but it's not. Back in the day, in 2003, before we finally got the CD done, there used to be a store on Hamilton Road. We're living in Columbus, y'all. That all they sold was CDs, right? Remember when Children's Palace was at?
Yes, I did.
I forgot the name of the store. It's no longer there anymore, because stores don't sell CDs much anymore. But I walked in there. I said, Lord, look at all these CDs. You want me to do a CD with all these CDs sitting up in there?
Wow.
And then the Lord just, spoke to me and said, do it.
Yeah.
And that has been me, you, and Michaela's life. Do it.
So
Don't
true.
worry about nothing else. Just do it. And we try not to question or doubt or anything else. By the way, let me tagging along with that. We heard something Wednesday that said something about being obedient. Your faith is dead if you don't have works. Dead and actions of obedience to back it up. Deed and actions of obedience to back it up. I'm sorry. So the faith piece on you just being obedient and adding works to your faith, because they're both dead if you don't have both of them together. And like they always say, which is very common, obedience is better than sacrifice. And all of that. So as we're talking, let's go. This is what we are sharing, our experiences in motivating and encouraging people to, whether it's threefold again, I will mention it, whether you haven't started, you're hesitant, you're a procrastinator, whether you are in it and you almost getting burnt out, pick your head up, pick yourself up off the floor. Let's go. Let's go. Or whether you're like us, we're starting something new with this podcast, and we're trying to just do what the Lord said, and not worry about what's going to happen, not worry about who going to listen, not worry about anything. Just do what the Lord said, and he will get the glory, glory, and more glory.
Yeah. Don't try to figure out the outcome. I love it. And I think I told you not long ago, and I think I mentioned it to Michaela. I said, thank you for us not perishing.
Yeah,
you being the head of the household, because what people don't understand, whether in Christ or not, all of it is still coming from God. Whether in the secular arena, whether we're in the Christian arena, no matter where we are, all of the information, everything that has been put inside of someone that they are accomplishing, it comes from God.
Yeah.
So why not let's go?
Yeah.
Because if it's staying here, it's not doing anything.
Right.
So you have to get up and move. You have to get up and do something with it. You can't just hold it. And then what about how we were talking about being fulfilled? Let's not be unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Let's not have the aggravation of gripes and complaints and jealousy towards someone else, because a lot of times we look at other people and we like, wow, I wish I could do that. And not necessarily in the same arena, but just because they have got up and moved, we're like, oh, how are they doing that? That's really something to get up and move. But what has God placed inside of you that you're not getting up and moving on? Everyone should have a let's go inside of them. We have not been made to just sit and not do anything.
Right.
God has a purpose for all of us should be doing something.
And
Right.
it can be big or
Everyone.
small.
Yes, big or small,
Yeah.
because whatever is inside of us, what Michael just said, he made it so that God is getting the glory out of it. Someone else is inspired by what you are doing. They will want to get up and say, let's go. Let's move.
And on to that, when you see other people doing stuff, and hopefully it's supposed to influence you.
Yes.
And you don't want to be in regret. You know.
Oh my goodness.
How about this? The next time, you know, because you know who you are, you know what you're doing. Like, take us for example. Let's just use us as an example. Somebody's doing something. We do know people that have their own business, catering business. They cook and they sell the goods and stuff like that. Instead of looking at them comparing, how about you go by and support them?
Yeah.
How about you go by and encourage them? Do not take it lightly that people do not need support and encouragement.
Right.
In the day and age we're living in, when dysfunction pays the bills, negativity pays the bills.
That's so true.
First and foremost, I don't know why ain't nobody a negative person. So I don't.
True.
When it's all negative all around you, you have to fight so hard, and don't be a naturally negative person like I was. You notice I said I was a negative person. You know what I'm saying? So, but I learned how to change my speech, watch what comes out of my mouth, so I won't even ruin myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just check my tones and all of that, you know. So why you seeing somebody, instead of being jealous or envious, it'll be cool. You might be able to ask what you can do behind that. But how about you just support them and encourage them? A bishop once said, it don't take much to be nice to people.
No.
It don't take much to be nice. Oh, I know people ain't nice no daggone mo, and don't nobody trust nobody no more, and they think you might be up to something. But that is a little caveat to go in there and build a relationship with those people.
You never know how far it'll go.
No.
And we take that for granted.
Mm-hmm.
For that, what you're just saying, for that exact reason, we think everybody's okay, and if they're doing something and they're handling it well. I'm well. I'm good.
Today.
I'm good right now.
Okay.
At
Then you
147.
okay.
Yes. I am.
See?
But you can't take that.
But them your wife and your daughter.
That's compassion, though. You know?
Yeah, but
Like, to have compassion means I'm going to support you. I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to tell you you're doing a good job.
right.
You know, or I see you working. You know?
Right.
I see what you're doing. That's the least amount of compassion you can have. Like, that's the bare minimum.
Right.
But that means so much to people, and you never know for the exact reason of people are so negative. And we don't. It's rare when people will reach out and just be like, wow, you're doing a great job.
Oh, but when you find them ones that are,
Keep them.
man. We know some very, very, very beautiful souls, beautiful people.
Hi, I'm Michaela Hughes, and you've just finished listening to part 1 of Let's Go. As always, we thank you so much for your support. Remember to subscribe to the Hughes Roundtable and stay tuned for part 2 of Let's Go. Thank you.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody.
We must be one.
Everybody.
We must be one.
Everybody.
We must be one.
Everybody.
We must be one.